Hello everybody. On Saturday I was working in the Spellbound bead shop and I decided I was going to make myself a new necklace. So I found a bead I really liked, which is this one here. It's a pink background with yellow and orange and red swirls. I love how the colours clash together. So I picked up a few to go with it and then a few more, and it sort of blossomed. And I had quite a selection of beads to bring away with me. I also picked up some cotton cord. I've got pink, yellow, green and turquoise, just a metre of each. And when I got home I added in some scraps of seed beads that I already had. Now I'm going to see what I can make out of this selection. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be fun. I hope you'll join me because I bet you've got a selection of beads that you just fancied at home too, and hopefully this will give you inspiration to get your beads and make something new. For my first project I'm using this little heart bead. It's a handmade Indian glass bead and it's got this lovely clash of orange and pink, which I really adore. Now I've picked out of my selection of smaller beads some little groups of 4 which match in with these sort of tones. I've also included a little bit of yellow to zest it up a bit, and I've got the orange size 8 seed beads, we actually call these marigold, and I've got this lovely tanzanite lilac bead too. Now I'm going to make them up into clusters of 4 and I'm going to put them onto a yellow thong which will pick up the yellow bead because the yellow isn't in my feature bead to start with. And I'm just going to prepare them on head pins. So I've already done a few little groups as you can see, and it's just a matter of seed beads, flower bead or round bead, trim and loop on a head pin. There we go, so that's a little flower. And for the larger beads, this glass bead matches the background particularly well. I'm going to put 2 seed beads on the underside because it's got a bigger hole. And I'm going to trim and loop. And I'm going to do the same for the remaining 2 beads here and these 4 beads here. When I've done the loops, I'll get back to you. So I have made up 2 more sets of little pendant beads. So each one is on a head pin with a loop at the top. Some have got a few seed beads on, some of them haven't. The larger pink ones need the seed beads on because otherwise the head pin will pull straight through. I've also prepared my little heart pendant. I've used one of the marigold seed beads on the bottom to pick up on these little orange bumps all the way around. It's on a head pin and then a jump ring just so that it will dangle. Now I've got 1 metre of yellow 1mm thong because I'm not sure how long I want my necklace to be. So I'm going to start in the middle and thread on my prepared pendant. Now I need to decide which cluster of beads I would like first, and that's going to go immediately above the heart. So I think I'm going to use these ones. So let's go with a pink and a yellow on one side and an orange and a pink on the other. I'm threading them directly onto the cord. I'm not using jump rings on these pendants because I want everything to look really clustered and tight together. So I've got 2 on one side and 2 on the other side of the pendant, and I'm just going to tie a simple overhand knot. that's our first cluster. Right, separate the two sides of the thread and let's put on our next cluster. Right, now how far do I want it up? About that far, I think. So let's just tie a knot. So you can see the 4 little pendants are on the loop of the knot. I'm just going to move the cluster to where I want it to be. And there we go. So we've got a nice little cluster there. Let's do the same on the other side. Now I don't want the cluster on the other side to be exactly the same. So let's go for that one. Pink. Oh, let's have an orange next. I don't think it matters which order you put them in because they just sit as a bunch, but I like to think I'm planning it even though I'm not. Apologies for the state of my hands, but I've been gardening. Hence the need to play with bright beads, because it's that time of year when we've got lots of lovely bright flowers coming out in the garden. Right, I need about the same distance. Don't get too upset if it's a tiny bit out. Sometimes happy accidents result in a better design, but I'll try and go for approximate symmetry if I can, just because I'm supposed to be a professional. Right, so we're going to do another cluster, and this time, so we've got big pink on each, we've got that yellow flower is there but isn't on this side, so that one will go there. So this cluster will come here. So one of the disadvantages of working in a bead shop, and there are some, is that there's so much choice, you're not sure what you want to use. Right, a little distance up, let's go there. Let's do the same with these. 1, oops, that one doesn't want to go in, so I'm just going to make that loop a little bit more round. That should be better. Which end is this one? I'll trim the end of the thread as well, because sometimes cotton can get a bit woolly on the end. That's easier. There we go. Super. So we've got a little heart with some little clusters. Now I do think equally that heart would work, and so would that bead, and I'm actually quite tempted to put on an extra bead, but I'll finish off the back first. Now, depending on how long you want to wear your necklace, you could just tie it in a simple knot, but I'm going to put a little clasp on. I'm going to make it using a bead. So I've got a bead that will thread onto the thong, and I'm going to position it where I want the centre back of the necklace to be, and I'm just going to tie a knot to keep it on there and a knot to keep it in place. So that's one side. That's going to act as the button on my necklace, on my necklace clasp. Right, on this side I'm going to make a loop. So I've measured the same distance up the thong. I'm going to make a nice big loop. I'm going to tie the loop off, and I'm just going to move the knot up slightly just to ease it, because I just want the knot to be big enough for the bead. So I just push the thread back through. You can see I'm reducing the size of the knot by just pushing the thread back through, and then I can tighten the knot. That's going to be about right. Let's just check it. Perfect. As usual, I've knocked the camera because I have flailing arms. Right, so I can trim this thread. That's the excess thread on the loop side. That's gone. On the bead side, this is the cut end. I'm actually going to leave a little tail, about that long, because it makes it easier to do the fastener up, because you can just thread through, and there you go. And there's my necklace complete. I'm going to do a little experiment and see if I like an extra bead on the bottom, and if I do, I'll come back and show you what that looks like too. And there we go. I knew I'd have to change it. I've taken the smaller heart off and I've put the bigger heart on just to see what it looks like, and I'm not sure which I prefer, but that one is going to stay on for now. And in another couple of videos I'm going to give you some ideas to do some things with the rest of that jazzy bead selection. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.